Hey everybody, Mark's Back to Comics and I'm back. This time I got an unboxing in the mail. Book I've been looking for quite some time now, probably for a few years now, but trying to find it at a decent price. Finally picked one up thanks to my buddy Mike from Night Tiger Comics. If you're interested in seeing what books I ended up picking up, stay tuned for that intro. Alright, so welcome back. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that when I do put out some content, you get it in a timely fashion. So like I said, I ended up picking up a book on eBay about a week ago. Ended up getting the link provided to me by my buddy Mike from Night Tiger Comics. So there you go, there's a shout out. So he's been kind of egging me on for a little bit now, maybe, I don't know, a year or two now. On these two books in particular. You know, I've been collecting a little bit more Golden Age for the last, I don't know, probably since beginning of COVID in 2020. And he was like, well, you've been, searching more and more for Golden Age, but you don't have these two books. So, yeah, I've been looking for them for quite some time. Probably say in the last 2 years, trying to find a decent deal on them. Been looking on Amazon, on eBay, mycomicshop.com, and so forth, and just looking for some like decent prices. And when they do, they often sell out pretty quickly. This is not a new book. This book came out, I believe, in the 90s, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So let's get into it, okay? And I'll tell you a little bit about the significance of these particular books. So I found these books on eBay thanks to Mike. He had them for some pretty good prices, and I shot him an offer, and he kindly accepted. So it's not brand new. I believe it's been used, but with these, like I said, I'll explain it. You don't need them brand spanking new because you're going to be using it. So. I'm gonna show you the book in question, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Okay. So here we go. Boom. This is basically the photojournal guide to comic books. This is volume 1, A through J. Basically. How do I explain it? It's like the Gerber guide of comic books. So I call this like the comic book Bible in a sense. And they have several volumes. This is volume 1. So it compiles every single Golden Age book to this individual's knowledge from A through J. And it was compiled by Ernst and Mary Gerber. So a lot of people just refer to this as the Gerber guide. And as you can see here, there's some images there on the front cover, and it has on there, as it says on the bottom, 21,000 color illustrations. So let's open it up, and as you can see there, we'll open it up, and then we'll show some images inside. And basically what these two individuals did was they went through, I guess, throughout the country and compiled all of these books, took some pictures of them, and they talked a little bit about scarcity, the scarcity index, the demand, if there was any pedigree comics in here, and so forth. And there's like this whole database. Like I said, it's almost like what I call the comic book Bible. And I believe they came out with this in the early 90s, and when it actually got published. So I'm gonna show you some of this stuff here, and as you can see here, tons and tons. It has every single. This is great because this is Action Comics, and I'm actually going to show you one of the books on here, and I'll actually go through it and see if I can get some information on it. So I'm going to go downstairs real quick. I'm going to get one of my books and then we'll discuss it. So I'll be right back.
5 minutes later.
All right. So before I get into this, I was a little upset when I opened up the package because I was under the impression that when I bought the Gerber guide, it was going to include A through Z, which would be volume 1 and 2. When I opened up the package, it was just volume 1. So I was a little disappointed by that. I'm going to have to contact the eBay seller and kind of just like go through the whole spiel about that. You know, when you put a certain listing on there, make sure that it's actually provided with the actual contents of the listing, because you only provided half of the actual purchase. But I guess that'll be a discussion for a later time if anyone cares to listen in on that. But all right, so I went downstairs. I got 4 Golden Age books that would pertain to volume A through J, which which is volume 1. And I have 4 books with me, and we'll just go through the I guess the contents of it on the Gerber guide. So first book, you may have seen this the other day on I actually unboxed this on Jig's Kingdom. This is Action Comics, issue number 112. Came out in September of 1947. So I was playing around with the book a little bit, going into details, and I put some sticky notes on there just so I can make it easier for reference. We'll go to Action Comics 112, and then we'll find the correspondent scarcity level. So as you can see there, it's just to my right. And then some of these, you know, I found just by quickly looking that when they were compiling the information back in the early 90s, reading this quickly, you know, they went through hundreds of different collectors throughout the country and going through their collections, and they gathered, you know, photos, and that's how they were, and then they just guessed, it was like a not exact science, they guesstimated roughly how many of them are out there, you know, based off of going through these hundreds of collectors throughout the country. And if they had it, they kind of just like came up with, you know, like a scarcity factor and so forth. So I'm going to go through Action Comics, and then you know, because there's a ton of issues in here in Action Comics, I just have to go through the corresponding page. And so for issue number 112, it came out, let's see, so on here it says issues 111 through 120, scarcity index of 4. Okay, so 4. So going on the catalog, or the I guess the brief on scarcity index, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So it talks, let's see, for the very first time we are, I'm just reading what it says, we are attempting to categorize comics into 10 indices of scarcity, which are listed below and corresponding with SI numbers listed with each comic book in our guide. Bear in mind, we are not perfect, but we've used every available reference source, including surveys done by Lawrence Watt Evans and data provided by hundreds of collectors, as well as the results of combining through hundreds of collections for missing cover photographs. So I was looking in here quickly, and there are some images on here that have no photographs as well. So you know, keep in mind it's not perfect, but they did the best that they could given the time that they did it. So a 4 is considered average scarcity. This so it says this index number indicates that there are about roughly 1,000 to 2,000 in existence, or is about average for collectors' comics from 1933 to 1960. So keep that in mind. This was compiled in 1990. Obviously, it's been, you know, 30 plus years since they've gathered, you know, all this data. So it may have, you know, decreased a little bit, but we're going to go with that reference point. So they were saying around 1 to 2,000 left. All right, so that's the first book. Next book is going to be a little bit of pre-code horror, Adventures into the Unknown, issue number 22. So, instead of me picking it up, I'm just gonna, hold up the book here, and then I'll tell you the scarcity. So August of, I'm not sure off with August of 1951, and this also got a 4. Okay. Next book is going to be a Fawcett book. So from what I gathered, I'm not an expert in Golden Age, is that Fawcett books were more on the heavily printed side. But we'll see. We'll see if that holds up true with this book in particular. And then I like this book because it's going into the season. You're going to be seeing some more Golden Age Christmas books from myself. And I've been, hunting out for some more. Actually, as of this recording tonight, I picked up another Golden Age Christmas book, so I'll look out for that book. So this is Captain Marvel Adventures, issue number 42. Alright, so put that up here real quick, and then as I flip, issue number 42, January of 1945. I'll just hold this up. Maybe this will make good for a nice little thumbnail. It got a 5. Okay, so 5. We got our first 5, and that will correspond to, I want to say it's probably less than 200. But let's give it a look real quick. And I think that might be the scarcest book I have at my hand. So a 5, less than average, in existence, generally between 200 and 1,000 less in existence. This one is more difficult to find. Diligence should pay off after several weeks and checking with most dealers, and following most ads in comics newspapers. So as we know, this is not the 90s or the 80s anymore. We're not referencing newspapers, so this is the telling of the times. It's pretty funny. And then the last book we'll get into, just so I don't draw this out too long, another Christmas book that you will be seeing more of. Like I said, I picked this up last year with a little extra funds that I had. So this was a nice little pickup. Still wasn't cheap. I think I spent over $400 on this book. Yeah, I did actually. And let's see. So this is and it was a pedigree. It's my only pedigree to date, and it's Green Lantern issue number 18. Winter issue, winter of 1945. And this is from the Bobby Blue collection. So this was, I believe this is also rated as a Gerber 5. And I just want to confirm that. Yes, it is. Okay, so it was. So I had 2 Gerber 5s on here and then 2 Gerber 4s. So just to give you an idea of the just scarcity. We often hear, people on eBay when they post stuff, book is rare or scarce or stuff like that. And they actually did the Gerber guides as well for the Silver Age and for the Bronze Age. I don't believe they've done anything modern, because like I said, they did this in the 90s, early 90s. So they were compiling data from the late 80s, I believe, till the early, like 90, 91, whenever this book was published. So this is going to be a great tool, resource for the Golden Age, Silver Age, and Bronze Age collectors. For me, primarily, I'm only going to be looking at it for the Golden Age, because this is what I've been gravitating more towards. And it's just really cool to see some of these covers, and just get more information on it. Not just for the scarcity, but just to have a catalog of just to look at all these covers, because sometimes it's just not easy to go online and look for them, because they're not always readily available. I know there are resources now that you can look at it, but to put all that information together in one book, I find this much more valuable than just going online, scrolling, and having to do all that work for me, where it just has it right here at my hands. So Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, Mark's with the Comics. Out.